Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're here with the Bretonnians in Game 5, up against Janet on occasion in our Best of 5 series. Yes, indeed, the series rather, has gone to 5 games, and so this is the final. I have brought the forces of Bretonnia to bear up against Janet on occasion's Wood Elves, so let's get straight to the army compositions. We've got the Fey Enchantress on Silveron. She is carrying Awakening of the Wood, which is decent against low armor targets. It also slows them, which is potentially going to be good. And Earthblood for some nice healing. Of course, she's also got the Mist of the Lady. And, when she's in melee, she has that Mortis Engine Drain effect. Life Bloom. And, so every time we cast this Awakening of the Wood, that Life Bloom will trigger and just heal all of our troops for a little bit. Of course, Favor of the Fae and Chalice of Potions as well. Front line is a mix of Spearmen at Arms with shields on the flanks and 2 in the rear. We've also got 2 Spearmen at Arms with just regular men at arms with shields here in the center, 4 spearmen at arms, and 4 units of battle pilgrims as well. Battle pilgrims are a unit that's a little bit underpowered for the cost. You know, they cost the same as what are they? The Black Ark Corsairs, and they really just underperform when you compare them side by side. They really have poor weapon strength, not a lot of charge bonus. They have okay combat stats and good leadership, but the lack of armor and the lack of weapon strength really makes them suffer to other comparable quote-unquote damage dealer type units. We've also got 4 units of Pox Arrow Peasant Bowmen and 3 units of Knights of the Realm. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, I also have 2 Foot Paladins leading the Infantry Corps. These heroes of Bretonnia here looking very, very regal, leading their low-born comrades into battle on foot. How inspiring. For Janet on occasion's build, he does indeed have big, scary Orion. So Orion's going to be pretty tough to kill for me. I don't really have anything that has the killing power to take him down one-on-one, so I'm really going to have to try and use combined arms to take him out. Front line is 3 Eternal Guards. He's also got 3 War Dancers. Great against peasants. These guys will be able to carve through hordes of peasants. Sisters of Thorn, which is a nice niche pick against Bretonnia. These guys are really nice against heavy cavalry. They have a lot of really interesting abilities. First of all, 50% physical resistance, which means they won't take a whole lot of damage from physical attacks. They do only have 15 armor and low unit models and low health, so you got to be very, very careful with them. But they do have some nice support buffs. Two casts of the Curse of Anrahir, which is negative speed and melee attack. Very, very useful for, outrunning opponents and skirmishing away. Likewise, Shield of Thorns give missile resistance and weapon damage, so if they're getting shot at, they can, help pop that to prevent the damage, or they can use it to help buff an ally's weapon strength. 25% weapon damage is quite considerable, so I really like these guys as kind of a niche pick. Also got 2 units of Wild Riders with shields. 2 units of War Dancers with Azrai Spear in the back, and a Branch Wraith with Melkos Mystifying Miasma, Earthblood, and the Penumbral Pendulum. Very good stuff. He's also got the Call of Wild melee attack buff, which is very useful to bring on the Dryad. Let's go ahead and kick things into full gear and watch what happens. So, first things first, going to be kind of taking up a nice wide position here. Since Janet's forces are much, much more narrow, regardless of where he attacks, I'm going to be able to then collapse in around the flanks. However, Janet's going to get a really, really nice, cheeky little charge here. And, my Knights of the Realm are pretty far out of position at this point to stop this kind of thing, so he's just actually going to charge straight into the front line here. The Tron Riders are just going to run over these Battle Pilgrims, and light troops like Battle Pilgrims will take a ton of damage from that on the charge. Immediately, they're going to be cycling through Hounds of Gibson, coming down on the back line, getting into those Pox Arrows, and the Wild Riders, I'm just not able to pin them down. Too slow to react with the Knights of the Realm, just barely reacting now after all that damage has already been done, and my whole formation here is discombobulated. We still were able to get a few counter charges off. So Shield of Thorns, though, you can see, I believe, so they're going to have increased weapon damage, so they should trade okay against those Battle Pilgrims there. Battle Pilgrims still doing very, very well, but Orion causing immediate terror problems with these Battle Pilgrims and the Men-at-Arms here in the center. War Dancers are absolutely cutting these Battle Pilgrims to ribbons. You can see in mere seconds that unit of Battle Pilgrims is already gone, so we're having a huge problem. My Paladin is terrified. He's taken about half his HP in damage, and in the opening moments of the battle already, this flank is completely collapsed. We've got a pocket holding here, a pocket holding here. Wild Riders have found a bit of a home here, but Janet's doing a really good job of just continuously microing them away from my peasants. allowing as few as possible to be bogged down. We are still going to be able to bog down some of the unit models here, but it's going to be tough. I'm pulling back my Knights of the Realm now, just trying to find a good target, trying to do some damage control. Already this flank over here has collapsed. And, you know, it's looking to be pretty rough. However, the balance of power is not too far out of reach, and of course we still do have healing with the Fey Enchantress. She's currently involved in this mainline fight here, getting some Kamehameha explosions, and doing that nice Mist Lady drain on all units in this pocket here, which is actually just a couple units of Eternal Guard, so nothing too special. But, you know, we're kind of securing this big peasant blob here. The issue we've got is these War Dancers right here. I have nothing that can stop them. I really need to be charging in. There we go. Charging in with the Knights of the Realm. Even though, you know, Knights of the Realm are heavy shock cavalry, look at how little shock damage they do on that charge. I mean, they did maybe 10% HP to a unit with 15 armor. I mean, granted, War Dancers do have physical resistance and, you know, decent combat stats, but still, I really feel that heavy shock cavalry charges have been severely nerfed in Game 2, and I'm not really sure why. It very much shows on the Empire and Britonia both. They both very much rely on their heavy cavalry. It's not so much of an issue for a faction like the Vampires or the High Elves, where you have more monstrous units and specialty units that can kind of handle. But with Britonia and the Empire, their bread and butter, especially Britonia, their bread and butter is heavy cavalry, and heavy cavalry is just really underwhelming right now, in my opinion, in Total War Warhammer 2. So we are firing in double Earthblood, one on each side, just trying to heal up these Knights of the Realm here. Unfortunately, you know, they have taken a lot of damage here. We have been able to almost finish off that one unit of War Dancers. The other one's very, very low. But the main issue here is these these Sisters of Thorn, rather, are completely healthy. They've expended pretty much half of their ammunition just firing away at low armor targets. And it's going to be tough to take them down. I don't have a whole lot that does magic damage besides the Fae herself. So it's going to be tough. Men-at-Arms fighting around with War Dancers here. War Dancers, it's not exactly a cost-effective trade. They will win, at least the Azrai Spear. They will win. Not exactly cost-effective, though, because they will take a bit of damage in return. But at this point, balance of power is still pretty even. We've been able to, you know, somewhat come back here. We're trying to secure these Sisters of Thorn in the back line. A really, really nice bombardment going to be coming down from Mel Gibson here, doing some great damage to those Peasant Bowmen, and so far I've got 2 units of Peasant Bowmen still online here doing some really nice damage, firing in on these Eternal Guards here, or sorry, these War Dancers rather. War Dancers are a much more expensive unit than Battle Pilgrims, so I don't mind firing into this combat. Perfectly cost effective for me, but that mobile Tron Goon Squad here is just, I'm having such a hard time catching them. Knights of the Realm are considerably slower. I believe they're 66, oh no, 75 speed on Knights of the Realm, so they're okay, but they're just really going to have a really hard time catching these guys. We do have men-at-arms with spears and shields coming in here to try and just help pin these guys down, but at this point, it's, you know, it's looking pretty grim. Knights of the Realm have taken a ton of damage, and I, again, just don't have anything that can take down Orion. He does have the Cloak of Isha, so he's going to be super hard to kill in the late game. And at this point, he's taking out the last of the Knights of the Realm. A very nice Melkos Mystifying Miasma as well on this other unit of Knights of the Realm. So they're going to be routed off very, very shortly here. The Spearmen get routed off by War Dancers. And yeah, just looking really rough. You can see the balance of power starting to shift in Janet's favor here. And yeah, not going to be too easy to come back. The Mist of the Lady, though, never underestimate the drain in late game situations. It can be absolutely devastating. So like right now, all these units in this pocket here are getting drained, but the rear charge from the Tron Riders coming in, probably going to be breaking off a lot of the peasant support here. And I'm doing a little bit of a sloppy job. You can see I've got tons of units that are rallied over here, and I'm doing a really sloppy job of trying to regroup them. But, you know, we are going to start slowly regrouping them back each into the fight here. But even still, I mean, I could focus fire with all my units at this point on Orion, and I'd have a pretty hard time taking him down. We do have the Paladin, the one Paladin here who's relatively healthy. He could potentially put a beating on Orion, but currently he's getting whacked around by the Branch Wraith and these Tron Riders and the War Dancers, so the biggest issue I'm having right now is leadership. The Elf units, we've been able to do a ton of damage to them, but the leadership is just too high. They're just not giving up at this point. It's real rough. So you can see the balance of power slowly shifting more and more in my opponent's favor. And although it is, you can see a very nice Chalice of Potions there, just finished off those Azrai Spear. It is still very close. You can see a little bit of teeter-tottering on the balance of power, but terror is going to be an issue for my troops as well. I didn't bring a Grail Relic, so like this Paladin, for example, once Orion gets his paws on him, he's going to have a really bad time with just getting continuously beat up by that armor-piercing damage. probably will get Terror routed off if he starts to take too much shock damage, but Milkos mystifying miasm, going to be probably finishing off those Knights of the Realm, yep, and the Terror, and all these peasant units here, and this one unit of Knights of the Realm as well. I'm just going to have a hard time bringing him back into the fight because of the Terror of Orion here, so looks to be going in Janet's favor, so we'll kind of fast forward through some of this late game situation where he's mostly just cycle charging around and doing a very, very good job of using the Tron Goon Squad here to just continuously cycle around. He did get caught up in those Knights of the Realm for just a moment there, so we were able to catch and rout them. But at this point, Orion's still got lots of healing cap left. He does have the Cloak of Isha, and my one Paladin here is getting circle beaten by Orion and the Branch Wraith, so he gets terrified off. We try and spring him loose here, but the Fey Enchantress just doesn't have the combat stats to really stand in here and deal with these guys. She's going to start to take a ton of damage the more she stands in here, and it's just going to be a rough day. Another Paladin coming through, still, still fighting a true hero of Bretonnia here, but the Terror is going to be really, really rough for them. One or two attacks on the Paladins don't actually have flaming or magic attacks, which is a bit strange. You'd think they'd have magic attacks because they have the flaming sword, but I guess not. But, yeah, Orion with that ward save. I believe Cloak of Isha is actually active if we look. Yes, it is. So you can see here, if we mouse over it, Cloak of Isha, 44% damage resistance and healing, makes Orion just a huge pain to kill in this late game situation, especially with the Branch Wraith supporting. The Branch Wraith will be able to do some nice damage up against the Fey Enchantress, so it's just a really rough situation all around. And yeah, it's going to be GG for the Bretonnians. I'm trying my best to come back at this point, but it's not going to be enough. So we'll go ahead and just fast forward through the rest of this late game here. You can see just continuously getting Terror routed off, and I just don't have the infantry left to try and stand in this pocket here. So really, really rough situation. Well played to Janet on occasion. I really enjoyed playing the series. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Be resuming normal online play shortly, so stay tuned for that. Get excited, and yeah, should be a lot of fun. In terms of the army breakdown here, on my side, we're able to do some okay damage with one of those units of Knights of the Realm. The peasant bows, you know, it's a bit of a risk because you can get outranged by the Wood Elves, but I just really felt like I needed to go super wide, and in certain situations we're able to do okay. You can see 47 and 59 here. The other units of Battle Pilgrims, though, 4 and 1 kill on a unit that costs 600 is really bad. The Spearmen at Arms with shields, you know, they were an okay pick. They're mostly just there to hold up, but they didn't actually end up doing their job, which is to hold off Wild Riders. You can see this unit of Wild Riders, 67, 160, and 103 kills from the Tron squad there. So they really did not do their job, which I guess is me microing them to not do their job. But yeah, I really had a rough time in pinning down those Wild Riders. The Paladins on foot did okay. You know, they're mostly just there for leadership support, but I probably would have rather had a Grail Relic in that late game situation to keep my troops from Terror routing from Orion. But, you know, you live and you learn. For my opponent, the War Dancers cleaning up a whole lot of kills in the front line there, 127, 91, and 59, and of course Orion himself 137, and the Tron squad here accounting for, what, 300 plus kills just by themselves, so absolutely brutal. Well played to Janet on occasion. Hope you guys enjoyed watching those battles. Definitely check his channel out. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more every day, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next time.